Welcome, everybody, to this week's podcast. And I am joined by Susan today. And already I've been like, hang on a minute, let's stop talking about that because that's what we need to talk about on the podcast. So we've already started talking about the crystals that I'm wearing and the color that I'm wearing and how energy gets stuck into my throat. So I'm like, right, this is what we need. We should have pressed record as soon as we just hopped on. So I feel like we need to come back and circle back around to that, Susan. But do you want to start by introducing yourself to us and then we'll see where the conversation flows from there?
Sure. So I'm Susan. I'm a crystal healing therapist. I'm based around Stroud, just outside Stroud.
Mhm.
I've been doing it for a few years now. I moved up from London just over 5 years ago, and
Yeah.
as soon as I moved here, I started my diploma in crystal healing with the Cotswold School of Crystal Healing and Awareness. It was something I'd been wanting to do. About 10 years ago, I kind of had like a spiritual awakening and I felt my heart center opening up. And um, I just started to become really, really drawn to crystals and started working with them on myself, just meditating with them, and just found that I just kind of had a natural affinity with them and I could channel messages through them and see images when I was working with them and things like that. And I began to do healing on myself.
Mhm.
And it was just it was really helping. I was really getting lots of benefit from it. And I thought, maybe I could help other people with
Mm.
this. And when we moved to Stroud, it just seemed like the right time to um, kind of move forward with that. Yeah.
I love that. I love it. Okay. So, do you want to start by telling us a little bit more about what you mean by a spiritual awakening?
Yeah, so I think there are you can get spiritual awakenings in different ways. I think you've probably heard the word Kundalini, and you've
Yeah.
probably heard of Kundalini yoga, all sorts of different things like that. So that's said to be kind of like a dormant energy that's at the base of your spine that then kind of rises up through your spine as you're clearing out old energies and old patterns,
Hmm.
old energetic patterns and things like that, and becoming more conscious. So, making decisions consciously, becoming aware of the energetic patterning and your conditioning,
Hmm.
because we all sort of sometimes when we make choices or we behave in certain ways, we don't necessarily realize why we're behaving in certain ways, and we don't stop to actively make that choice. It's like we're just acting unconsciously.
Yeah.
So there are different ways that this can happen. Some people it happens through kind of yoga practice. For me, I actually had a really interesting one because it was to do with sound frequency.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was actually the sound of someone's voice, the frequency that the voice resonated at,
Ooh,
um,
interesting.
activated my heart center.
Mhm.
That's kind of the most basic way I can put it, I think. So for me, it was all about frequencies, and that's interesting because crystals are all about frequencies.
Yeah.
Crystals are energy frequencies, so they're all different types of energy frequency.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I have always loved having crystals around me. I've actually got two love quartz candles here that it's candle holder in love quartz that I light every day with the intention of bringing love and empowerment into my coaching or my conversations. I've never I've never actually taken the time to sit back and really educate myself around, right, okay, what is the energetics of rose quartz, for example? Like I'm wearing amethyst. I chose amethyst purely because I love the color.
Yeah.
Um, Rose quartz, I also did. And I was pointing out this one earlier, and I think I bought this one because it's abundance, but I don't know what. Yeah, there we go. I don't even know what this crystal is.
Yep. So that's an aventurine.
Okay.
And so that is also connected to heart frequency because the colours
Okay.
pink and green are connected to your heart centre and actually your higher heart as well. So
Oh,
that will help with heart center energies, opening the heart center, heart healing, all that kind of thing. But what aventuring does is it opens you up to new opportunities. So it's
oh,
a crystal that
interesting.
supports growth, luck, opportunity, prosperity as well. And, yes, abundance. It's associated with all those kind of energies. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It
Okay.
can
And I
bring
suppose if you're listening,
benefits.
yeah, if you're
Yeah.
listening to this on a podcast rather than YouTube, obviously you can't see us pointing to our crystals. So you'll have to go back and
Private.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really so tell me, let's get into sort of the detail around, like you said, the energetic frequency of crystals. Does each crystal have different energetic frequencies then? Like, tell me how it works.
Yes. So crystals have, I mean, if you believe, like I do, that we are energy, and
Yes.
Einstein said everything is energy,
Yeah.
we are energy. If you accept that we have an energy field, our own energy field, trees are living things. I believe that crystals are also living things and they also have their own energy fields.
Yeah.
They actually resonate at a higher vibration than we do because they've been in the earth for millennia.
Yeah.
Um, because they come from the earth, it feels like they sort of have like a purer energy. And when they come into contact with our energy field, they can bring their energetic frequencies and balance out our energy field, heal it, repair it. Now, they can do this in a number of ways. So, color frequency, we've already touched on. The
Mm.
color of the crystal will be bringing a certain energy frequency because colors do have their own energy frequencies. So
Yeah.
we've also already mentioned the pink and the green, which resonate with love frequency.
Mm.
So I'm wearing a yellow jumper today. So this is related to solar plexus. Actually, it's related to confidence. All right, I knew it was coming onto this podcast today, and so I'm wearing the colour that's going to give me confidence.
Yes.
So that's the frequency this jumper's emanating for me today. And actually, as a little side note, I have my wardrobe colour coded actually. So I just pick whatever colour I feel I need the frequency of that day. And you can kind of do that with crystals as well. So that's one of the ways that they bring an energy frequency in.
Mm.
The other way is the mineral composition. So,
Okay.
for example, if you have a hematite, now hematite is iron ore.
Hmm.
So, iron, the mineral iron, is very, very grounding. So, if you have a crystal that has a large component of iron in, that's going to be a grounding crystal.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
mineral composition. The other thing is the way that the crystals are formed as well. So,
Okay.
you get some crystals that actually are formed from volcanic lava, like an obsidian, which is actually a volcanic glass. So that's been created through an eruption,
Yeah.
through the volcano eruption. So an obsidian is known as the warrior of truth. What it does is it brings things to the surface. It
Oh,
brings
interesting.
things out and it brings them to the surface. So the way that crystal is formed gives us a clue as to another way in which it might work with us. So
Mm.
there are all these different things that come into play.
Yeah. It's so fascinating, isn't it? How nature provides us with the most
With everything.
incredible gifts. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
interesting. Um, so I'm then a little bit curious, and then I quite like to speak about some specific crystals, if we may. But I'm really curious to hear more about how, when you had your spiritual awakening and you are in connection with crystals, you're able to
Yeah.
channel messages and
Yeah.
see images. So that obviously, there's something that the crystal obviously does that opens your channels up to
Yes.
receiving those messages and those images. Can you give me some examples of the things that you kind of receive?
Yeah, absolutely. So I also work with a team of spirit guides, and I believe, just like everyone's got guardian angels, I
Yeah.
believe that everyone has a spirit team that be made up partly of guardian angels, other various guides. Some people really connected with Egyptian lineage and Egyptian guides, for example, ascended masters, things like that. And then when I kind of work with the crystals, when I come into contact with them, I feel I just feel like I'm connected into source energy. It's almost like it's like being plugged in.
Mm.
Um, I can connect with my guides through the crystals, and I can connect with the source energy through the crystals. The way it happens when I'm doing a crystal healing session, for me, I tend to work in metaphor. So by that, I mean that I then start to, once I have all the crystals in place and I'm working through those, they then show me things in people's energy field. And usually it's objects. And
Amazing.
I do quite a lot of removal of objects. And for me, the object will be a metaphor telling me what I'm removing usually. So, for example, if I see a chunk of dead wood in someone's knee, I will energetically remove that. And that is a metaphor for, stagnant energy,
Yeah.
dead wood, dead energy, stagnant energy that needs to be removed in order to restore the energy flow in the knee there, for example. I had a really interesting one not long ago. I actually saw like a lens, like a contact lens.
Yeah.
And that was an old perspective, an old view that needed to be
Interesting.
removed. Yeah. So usually, if I get object symbols that I haven't seen before, I ask what they are and I'll get that information through if it's something I need to know.
Yeah. It's so fascinating, isn't it? And then, so this is on a personal level, if I may bring my personalness into this conversation. It just absolutely fascinates me because over the last, I don't know, probably 18 months, I would say, I've slowly becoming more familiar with my spiritual side, being willing to open up to my spirit guides, um,
Mm.
being willing to expose myself to that power in my own way. So for me, I have a sense. That's the only way I can currently describe it is a sense of something. And when I and still am to a certain degree thinking about that kind of power, I get really frightened of it. Like it
Yeah,
actually
that's a part.
really, yeah, it's actually really quite scary for me to move into that space and learn to trust that space.
Yeah.
So I would be fascinated to hear what your journey was like when you had your spiritual awakening, started working with the crystals, and then starting to receive and work with those messages, what that journey was like for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that a lot, and I've had a couple of people kind of say to me, "Yo, is crystal healing safe? Is
Mm.
it witchcraft?" I think there are misconceptions around what it is. So the first thing I would say is that it's 100% safe.
Yeah.
I always protect the space with my guides and everything. It's 100% safe. When you start out, obviously, you do need to learn to differentiate the messages you're getting from
Yeah.
different sources. Um, because just like boundaries exist in our physical world, there's spiritual boundaries as well. So what I would say about that is, with practice, you will know the difference.
Mm.
You will either just know or you will feel it. So pure energies, pure source connections, they are never angry, critical, nasty.
Mm.
Um, they will never say anything bad. If you get those kind of things coming through, in my experience, what I often find is that it's actually a part of yourself, like a shadow part of yourself, like a
Mm.
fearful part or a doubting part. So if you get that kind of negative message through, yeah, I often find it's coming from a shadow part of you.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that was a really important thing for me to realize. So
Mm.
if you get a message and you write it down, I mean, what I do is I write everything down, in a journal, and then I might read back over it later, and then I'd be able to see,
Mm.
um, yeah, I can see that's a genuine message.
Yeah.
Um, or I'll see a message and I'll go, yeah, okay, right, yeah, that's because the thing I was thinking about or channeling about, yeah, that's because I'm scared of this move or
Yeah.
whatever. So you can see that. I will say it's a lot more difficult channeling for yourself and working on yourself because you're
Mm.
working with all your shadow aspects. When I'm working with a client, I'm totally impartial, so
Yes.
that just
Yeah.
doesn't tend to happen because
Yeah.
I don't have anything in myself that's interfering, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so that's quite interesting. But I think when you're first starting out, don't be scared. When you're first working on something, just make sure you put protection around yourself. And that can be
Mm.
done in a number of ways. You can do it by placing a golden bubble around yourself. Some people place a gold shiny egg around themselves so that the negativity bounces off of that shiny egg. Some people protect themselves in a white light. Some people ask Archangel Michael for protection. So there are lots of different ways, but always
Mm.
protect yourself
Mm.
before you go into that space
Yeah.
where you're meditating with the crystal or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, and then the more you do it, the more you will begin to differentiate.
Yeah.
You will feel what's a pure message.
Yeah.
Um, and you will know if something creeps in, you'll think, oh, that doesn't feel quite right, or that doesn't sound quite right.
Mm.
So you'll get more practiced with that. The other thing I just very quickly want to mention is something called oracle abuse. So if you're working on yourself, it's really important not to keep asking the same question. So,
Oh,
for
interesting.
example,
Yeah.
like a classic thing that people do, they want to know about a relationship. Am I going to be with this person or whatever? Okay, you can really tie your head in knots,
Yeah.
not in a good way. Okay, because you can kind of go down a rabbit hole and you will end up confusing yourself so you won't know which way is up. So
Yeah.
it's really important if you're working on yourself, you're asking a particular question, sure, ask it the first time. Make sure you're grounded, make sure your mind's open, make sure you're not willing certain answers.
Mm.
Okay. So you really have to have a clear head when you're doing it. And don't keep asking
Yeah.
because um, it will kind of get skewed if you just keep asking.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the way that I describe that with what I do is if you ask and repeatedly ask
Yeah,
a negative question, your brain is going to answer every question that you ask it. So if you
yeah,
go, "What's wrong with me?" it's going to answer and
mm,
tell you all the things. But if you also say, "What's right with me?" if there
mm.
were rights or wrongs, I don't agree that there is rights or wrongs, but this is a common thing that people think they're broken. Why am I broken? It's going to tell
Yeah,
you
yeah,
reasons why you're broken. How am I perfect? It will tell you all the reasons how you're perfect, or all the things that are going right in life, or going right in your business, or going right in your job. But we tend to ask and then repeatedly ask
yeah,
those negative questions, which is exactly the same as what you're saying there. Your brain then gets full of creating this evidence to prove itself right all the time.
yeah. And you just end up confusing yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and the other thing, it's interesting with you saying that because I do crystal readings as well. So just sort of like a tarot reading, I suppose, but with crystals. And one of the areas that I do that for is strengths and blessings. So
Oh, yeah.
that's how you can frame these things. what are my strengths?
Yes.
What are the blessings in my life?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're right. It's about how you ask the question, how you frame it, and if you believe that this universe is a law of attraction universe, it's a mirror. So just as you said, if you ask a negative question,
Yeah.
then something negative is going to be mirrored back to you,
Yeah.
and that's not useful.
No.
Whereas if you say, well, what are my strengths as a person? What blessings do I have in my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot more constructive, and that's something that's an example of a place where they can be really helpful and really insightful, and they can bring things into your awareness that you didn't see. I mean, that's something that crystals do for me all the time. They will bring a pattern to my attention.
Mm.
That's for me, that they're great at doing that,
Yeah. Yeah.
showing things. Yeah.
And I think to complement all of that is doing your own work, I think is very important, hugely important. Actually, you need to be able to do that for yourself. And having that support, having someone to go to, like a coach, like a healer, therapist, whatever it might be for whatever time in your life you're at. But having that objective, neutral person to look at you, whether it's energetically, mindfully, whatever, it's such a valuable investment, isn't it? Because I do believe there's only so far we can take our own work, and then we get blocked by what we don't know, whether that's energetic or thought process or emotion. And it's very challenging to go then through that because we think that that's a solid line, whereas someone else comes in and goes, no, 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 we just need to, like you said, I need to move that dead wood out the way, or I need to energetically remove that lens, or did you know that what you're telling yourself isn't actually fact, even though you think it is? Like, it sometimes takes that external person
Yes.
to hold that space and guide us through that then we move out the other side.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I think, and I think it's really important as healers to have an active healing practice on yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and that also, I'm developing kind of in new ways psychically all the time as well. Um, so, for example, usually, like, I do past life work. So usually I guide a client through a past life. I do
Yeah.
meditation, guide them through it. They kind of uncover it themselves usually. But recently, for example, because I've been working with past lives quite a lot lately, and I'm doing my own healing through that as well. I actually I saw someone. I had a client for a crystal reading, and actually I ended up seeing a past life of theirs.
Interesting.
Uh, and then I started to feel parts in their body, but in my body, but it was their body,
Yeah.
if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So things located in certain areas in the body.
Mm.
Um, so your practice is ever expanding, ever developing. So you
Mm.
need to have an active practice on yourself, absolutely,
Mm.
because it's really important for that. Um, yeah,
It's
and
so
sometimes, sorry, go
sorry,
on.
no, go on. No, go on. What you were going to say sometimes.
Sometimes, even though I do a lot of work on myself, occasionally I also need to go and see another healer, because
Yeah.
sometimes even healers need someone to just give them that shove over the line
Yeah.
for certain issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I did an amazing soul retrieval process with somebody. That's something that this
Oh,
person specializes in,
yeah.
and that was that was really amazing.
Yeah. Tell me
Uh,
more about soul retrieval. I've heard of obviously souls and spirits but I've never heard of a soul retrieval. Tell me more about that.
so I realized through working with one of my crystals, an obsidian crystal, actually, that my soul wasn't my soul was out of alignment.
Okay.
Um, I kind of was like I think the mission of healers is quite a tough mission,
Hmm.
and I was a bit cross with my soul.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's kind of hard, and I realized that I was kind of out of alignment with what my soul wanted to do here.
Oh,
If that
interesting.
makes sense.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
so it's just like, I don't know if you've heard of fragmentation.
Mm.
So obviously, like due to trauma, energetically you can fragment. Also,
Yeah.
like your soul can. Some people would say your soul can fragment. So it's about retrieving those parts and bringing them back into yourself again, so that
Oh,
you can get back into alignment with your soul.
that feels so good to hear that. Like I do, I've never actually heard of it before. I've never heard of that terminology before, like retrieval. But as you're talking about all the fragments kind of splitting off,
Yeah,
to me, there's kind of a real comfort around imagining them coming back together.
yeah. And it felt like, I think I kind of like physically saw a key coming back into a certain place in my body. It was like I had the key back.
Mm.
Um, and yes, it was really powerful. And I went to this person because I knew they specialized in it. And I thought, I've got an alignment issue here, and I think this person can help me with it.
So,
I did.
wow. Yeah, I love that. And do you do that for your clients as well? Are you able to bring?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've started doing as well.
Yeah,
Again, what I was talking about with the developing practice, and I'm starting to becoming interested in things like womb healing as well. That's
yeah,
another area. I mean, it's just the more you learn, the more just there's so much out there.
so much.
It just keeps unfolding. Once you're on this journey, I think once you're on a spiritual journey, it never ends. Just
Yeah,
things are endlessly revealing themselves all the time, new things that you didn't see before.
yeah,
Um, so yes, I'm always uncovering new things.
yeah. I
Um,
love that.
yeah, new practices. So it's
Yeah,
really exciting, because no crystal healing session is ever the same either, because you just don't know what's going to come up for that person, because
yeah.
what that person needs is going to be unique to them,
Mm.
and not not each client is going to need the same thing. They're all going to need different ways of healing. So
Mm.
it's fascinating, and no session's ever the same.
Yeah. So let's talk about crystals then in a bit more detail. Is there like one crystal that you always go to start off with? And then it like tell me more about the individual crystals.
Yeah. So for me, my favourite crystal is black tourmaline.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm a person, because I'm quite away in my hair and where there is. I need quite a lot of grounding.
Okay.
So my absolute go-to crystals is black tourmaline, which is just incredibly grounding, very protective. You can keep pieces of it by your doorway as well. I've got chunks either side of my door, because it's said to keep negative energies away from crossing the threshold.
Oh, interesting.
Really protective, said to shield your aura from negative energies. So really deeply cleansing, but just very, very grounding. And if I'm having a day where I'm just in my head a lot,
Hmm.
then sometimes I just sit and hold my black tourmaline chunk. I have a bracelet as well. I haven't got it on today. I've got my shungite on today, but shungite's another grounding crystal. For me, it has a gentler energy, so it depends how much grounding I need. I feel
Mhm.
quite grounded today, so I've just got my sort of gently grounding one on today.
Mm.
Whereas if I'm really scattered, um, then I'll wear my black tourmaline, because
Yeah.
that'll be like smoky quartz is another great grounding crystal. So black tourmaline is my number one go-to crystal for
Yeah.
me. And I
Yeah.
would just like to say that that will be specific to each person.
Yeah.
Each person will have a crystal, but they just think, oh, that's my go-to crystal. I work with it all the time. I use it all the time, and bear in mind also that can change
Yeah.
as your energy field changes. That can change, and you can find that you have new crystals that come in that you're working with. Amber's another one that I really like.
Mm.
Um, Amber, yeah, that's a really interesting one. That actually flagged something up for me a couple of years ago. I was working with it, and it kept going up here, which is describe it for your audio listeners, but sort of just in the lymph area, just underneath my right armpit, just above
Yeah.
my right breast. Every time I worked with it, it kept going up there, and it kept doing this lymphatic drainage.
Mm.
And I didn't kind of know. I thought, okay, and and then about a month later, I actually found a lump in my right breast.
Wow.
So I went to get that checked out. I was very, very lucky. They were suspicious of it. They biopsied it twice, and it did turn out something called a lymphocytic mastopathy. So
Okay.
luckily, it's completely benign. Very, very
Yeah.
rare. Less than 1% of benign lumps are this thing. So that's what it was doing,
Wow.
the amber, because this thing is a lymphocytic mastopathy, and it was doing this lymphatic drainage in that area. So for me, I always just feel like I have a really special bond with
Mm.
amber.
Yeah.
Um, there are loads of crystals that I love. I work with fluorite quite a lot, which is a green crystal. You can also get rainbow fluorite, which has bits of purple in, possibly bits of blue. You can get yellow fluorite, clear fluorite. Fluorite is a stone of organisation, and
Oh.
as I mentioned, I can be quite scattered. So I work with fluorite as well. That brings order out of chaos, and it can sort of bring order at every level, including cellular.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So fluorite's another one I work with a lot. Orange calcite, I love it. It's such a joyful crystal. Pyrite, bright gold, nuggets. Pyrite's a beautiful energy, and it works with untapping hidden abilities as well. So its other name is fool's gold. And so obviously one of the things it brings is dispelling illusions.
Mm.
But it also has that effect where it actually untaps hidden abilities as well. Associated with prosperity,
Oh, interesting.
in business, but also very, very good working with self-esteem, self-confidence, and it just brings a really sunny energy. So it's also a really good mood lifter. So
Yeah.
pyrite's another one that I absolutely love. I have a lovely big chunk of pyrite. I have an eagle head, actually, a pyrite eagle head.
Wow.
Not only do you get the energy of the pyrite, but you also get the energy of the shape. So
Yeah.
the eagle energy that comes through the eagle shape.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant.
And so when you're buying crystals, because this is something I often wonder about, how do you know if you're getting a good quality? Is there such a thing as a good quality crystal?
Okay, that's a really interesting question, because I believe that all crystals should be loved and valued,
Yeah.
every single one. Um, Sometimes, people will think, oh, that crystal's got a scratch in it. I don't want that one. You know,
Yeah.
and I just think, no, that's part of the crystal.
Yeah.
That's part of it to make it just like us. If you could look at us inside, we've got scratches in us as
Yeah.
well. We've got wounds, and sometimes those crystals are actually really beneficial to working with particular wounds, because
Mm.
it's said that the crystal actually understands, because it's got scratches of its own. It understands your wounds, and it
Yeah.
can actually help with those. So I believe all crystals are beautiful, all crystals are valuable. I would just mention, obviously mining is a really complex area.
Mm.
Um, how the crystals have been mined. Um, so for me, I think that's the most relevant thing that I think of when you talk about quality of crystals, really.
Yeah. And I suppose making sure that it's being mined ethically and
Yeah,
sustainably.
that's right. Yeah, because I suppose you want the crystal to come with happy energy. I mean, if
Yeah.
it doesn't, you can clear that, and you can work with the crystal on that to clear that and restore that crystal. Um, you will get some crystals that are considered higher quality. So, for example, with amethysts, the deeper the purple, some people say that the deeper the purple is, the higher quality amethyst it is, for example. But these are human categorizations. People
Yeah.
crystal has something of value.
Yeah.
Every crystal is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've always been very drawn to amethyst, and I don't actually know what the healing qualities of amethyst is. Can you tell me?
Absolutely. Amethyst is probably one of our most popular crystals. And that's for good reason. It
Mm.
has loads and loads of properties. It's known as the stone of tranquility.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a mega, mega crystal for calm,
Yes.
zen. So, I mean, that's, I would say, the biggest property that's associated with amethyst. It's also connected, because it's purple, it's connected with your crown chakra on the top of
Okay.
your head. So that governs your connection with the higher realms. Okay.
Yeah.
So it also has like a really spiritual connection.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, a big stone of relaxation, soothing. It can help with things like calming anger.
Hmm.
It's said to be very good for helping sleep, insomnia, because of its tranquilizing
Yeah.
qualities. It's also a stone that is said to help overcome obstacles and addictions.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I feel like I'm doing that, not addictions necessarily, although I did realize recently I'm totally addicted to nuts. As in
Good addiction.
cashews, not Johnny's nuts.
That's
Okay, you
right.
would like that. As in cashews, Brazils, and pecans especially. But I don't think it's helping my nose. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. Maybe that's why I was drawn to having my amethyst back on my wrist. Then that's really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, tranquility is the key word, I would say for that.
Yeah, so lovely. It's so incredible. And at some point, I will invest. You see those beautiful, quite big amethyst, you can get quite big structures of it, can't you? Which one day I will invest in and have in my lounge. But at the moment, most of my crystals are quite small and just things that I've collected over the years that I just obviously felt drawn to at that point of bringing it in. But what's interesting is the person I was talking to before this actually, that she was saying, oh, tonight, because we were talking about so it's the third of we're recording this on the 3rd of March, and tonight is a full moon. And
Yes.
apparently, if you put your crystals out in a full moon, they regenerate, like they recharge.
Yes. Well, they can recharge at any stage of the moon, but the full moon obviously offers the most energy. So it's the most potent time to recharge your crystals.
Yeah.
Because of different phases of the moon. For example, a new moon, you could charge your crystal in a new moon if you are particularly working with that crystal for new beginnings. So
Oh,
you could
okay. Yeah.
charge your aventurine if you could charge your aventurine in the new moon. That would work really well. So, there are different moon phases that represent that are said to represent different energies that they're actually charging your crystal with.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
that's interesting.
yeah, but obviously a full moon is just like full on cleansing energy,
Yeah.
uh, and that's like the most potent time to charge your
Yeah.
crystals.
And I'm curious, do you have to be able to see the moon for its energies to be coming through? Like if it's a cloudy night and I put my crystals out, like tonight, for example, yesterday was beautiful, clear, the moon looked gorgeous, but it obviously wasn't at its fullest yet. But if tonight it happens because it's a bit cloudier today, does that affect the energetics of the moon at all?
Well, again, if you kind of go back to that conversation with everything being energy, then the I personally think, I mean, I don't know if it affects the strength of it slightly, but kind of energy can go through matter, can't it? So
Yeah.
um,
So in that theory, it
I
really doesn't
I would
matter.
say I'm not. Yeah, exactly. So if you if you align with that theory, then the energy's coming through the matter anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not usually bothered if I can't see the moon, and also if I'm putting that and then I'm going to go to bed. Well, at some point the clouds might clear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to know, but yeah, if you subscribe to the theory that energy passes through matter, then
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I might put all my crystals out tonight then, seeing if it's a full moon. Get
Yeah,
them revved
that
up,
would be
recharged.
absolutely, and just have a little hold of them, and hold them today
Mm.
before you put them out, and then hold them tomorrow, and just see if you can feel the difference
Yeah.
in their energy.
I love that. So I'm curious if someone's listening to this and they're like, I've kind of liked crystals. They look nice, but they want to kind of get more into crystal healing. What would you suggest? Where would you suggest they start?
As in to do healing on themselves, or just on themselves.
Both. Both.
Okay. So if you decided you wanted to train as a crystal healer, I went to a great school in the Cotswolds run by the lovely Kelly Peacey, a beautiful lady. Cotswolds School of Crystal Healing and Awareness. There are different um, places all over the UK where you can train to be a crystal healer if you want to. I don't think there are that many, but they're there. If you wanted to just start, I mean, and I would always start by working on yourself, by the way,
Mm.
before, so that you know that, yeah, that's your thing. Because, for example, like some people they're tarot readers, some people are
Yeah.
mediums, everybody has a different affinity, or maybe they have several, there's no limit how many affinity you can have. But for me, crystals are my special thing.
Yeah.
So I think you want to try and work on yourself first, to find out, oh yeah, actually that is something I want to take further. Yeah, that is my special thing. So I'd always recommend trying doing it on yourself first. I would suggest that you pick a crystal and sort of become acquainted with that crystal. Um, Start to tune into it. So usually that happens via some kind of meditation, whether you want to put music on in the background or not, it's totally up to you, or if you just want to sit in a quiet space. Hold the crystal. Start by holding the crystal in your left hand. That's your receiving hand, receiving in
Okay.
the energy. You start with that. You can switch it to other parts of your body as you progress. You can put it, wherever you want to put it, but I'd start with it in your left hand. And just for me, I find it easiest to work with color. So I imagine myself inside the crystal, or imagine the color of the crystal's energy, um, just kind of filling my energy field. That's my entry point when I'm
Mm.
meditating with the crystal myself. Some people are very good at feeling energy, so they will just feel the energy of the crystal in their energy field, and they'll work with that. Whatever works for you. I'm quite a visual person, so that's how I do it.
Yeah.
And then gradually there are steps you can work through as you kind of tune in more to your crystal. You can begin to ask it to show you things, or you can begin to ask it. The probably the best place to start is to ask it where it is in your body, where it's working in your body,
Mm.
and then what it's doing there. Um,
So
and then
interesting.
does it have a message for you? So there are, and even things like, which room does it prefer to be kept in?
Yeah.
How does it prefer to be cleansed? So all these things that you can ask your crystal, to consider it, to build a rapport with it. And the more you connect with that crystal, the more bonded, the more acquainted you become, the more in tune with each other you become.
Do you know I'd never considered doing that with any of my crystals ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like part of my remit, if you like, is to help people to connect with crystals
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
one-to-one level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, obviously you said you were in Stroud
Mm.
and so you see your clients in person. So if you are close to Stroud, look up Susan. Are you able, do you do remote working or is it, do you only ever work in person?
So I can do distance healing, um, and I do that, but I'm I'm a face to face myself. I like,
Yeah.
even if I'm going for a healing session with someone, I just like to see that person face to face, and I enjoy a face to face interaction and experience. That's
Yeah.
just me. That's the way I am. So most clients come to me in person, but I have done distance healing before, and it does
Yeah.
work really well. It's just as effective.
Mm.
It depends what you want out of the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that I'm a little bit curious of, because the other thing that you do is ghostwriting. And
Yes.
I wonder if you could recommend any good books that would help. Like, so for me, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and the only thing why I'm thinking this is a friend of mine said the other day, we were talking about manifestation, and she said, "Oh, well, I saw this spell where you put a crystal in the ground, you set your intention, and then it happened." And she did it very specifically around money. She wanted, I think she wanted to bring in £5,000. It was a very set amount of money. And so I must ask her what crystal she actually buried, but she did this ceremony and she put the thing in the ground, and it look a couple of things came in, but it was looking like nothing was going to happen. And she's like, oh, she was kind of getting to the point where at the end of the month, oh, that wasn't worked. And then her mother-in-law phoned up and went, oh, just so you know, I'm about to deposit so much money, so a certain amount of money into your bank account for no reason. And that brought her up to the £5,000. So she was like,
Wow.
that's amazing. So are there any books that you would recommend that kind of talk you through, first of all, like the healing effects of crystals, and then what to do with them to get the. I mean, I think I know the answer to this actually is just ask the fucking crystal, right? Like you just said, sit with the crystal, get a connection with it, and then ask the crystal what it needs to do. But from my kind of more pragmatic, I kind of like a process. And
Yeah.
so is there any, and at the moment I'm, my focus is on building my business, receiving in more money. Um, so is there anywhere that I could go other than coming to see you in person, which I think we should book in before we leave each other today? Um, but is there anything where I could go to get a resource where I could refer back to? Do you know any books like that that is going to tell me, you know, for money, go here, for love, go here, and then when you go here, do this with that crystal? Is there anything like that in the market that you would recommend?
So I have ghostwritten two books about crystals. I should have brought them into the room, but I'll send you pictures of them afterwards. But
Yes, please.
I did the little book for crystal lovers. So that's divided into sections. So crystals for love, crystals for calm, that kind of thing. And it also talks you through a bit about history of crystals and how to cleanse crystals, how to tune into crystals, that kind of thing. So that's really good for a beginner. And I also wrote the Crystal Healing Journal, which I really love that one because that that guides you through how to work with crystals. So it gives you sample questions, kind of because it's
Right.
part journal.
Yeah.
It really focuses on giving you the prompts to interact with crystals,
Brilliant.
and it does it with certain crystals, and then there's like a free section where you can do it with the crystal of your choice, and you've got prompts. So I would say if you're just starting out on learning how to work with crystals, the Crystal Healing Journal is also a really lovely one,
Yeah.
because it actually kind of holds your hand through that process. Um, in terms of, there's one thing I want to say, I think, in relation to manifestation,
Yeah.
and that is that sometimes other things need to be in alignment as well.
Mhm. Tell us what you mean by that.
So Have to think how to phrase this. I think kind of like in the spiritual world, people think, oh well, I'll just manifest that.
Yeah.
I'll just yeah, I'll just manifest that and it will happen. So I kind of want to say there are also other things that sometimes come into play. So
Mm.
sometimes if you're asking for something that's not necessarily in your I don't know, sometimes you might be asking for something that's not in alignment with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So um yeah, I kind of just want to put that caveat out there.
Yeah.
If something's in pure alignment with you and your energy, no problem, it's going to
It's
happen.
gonna happen.
It's going to
Yeah. Yeah.
happen with your friend. She was in alignment with that thing,
Yeah.
and it's great. So if you're in alignment with the thing you're trying to manifest, it is an
Yeah.
extremely powerful and wonderful tool.
Yeah.
But I also want to add the caveat that
Yes.
just because you follow a certain ritual,
Yes.
if you're asking for something you're not in alignment with, I'm just going to
Yes.
take a really silly example, but say I'm an architect, I'm really good at designing buildings, and I decide instead I want to manifest a career as, I don't know, a tightrope walker. You know, it's a very silly example, but to say that my skill set and everything just doesn't match up with being a tightrope walker.
Yeah.
Okay, despite me manifesting that.
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a very basic example, very obvious example.
Yeah. And
But I
and I
think
think is I
okay,
think as well with we can sometimes give too much power away to a crystal. So like the example that I said of my friend, if if I then go, oh, because I've buried this crystal and I set my intention, I'm going to sit back and do nothing.
exactly. That's another point. Yes.
That's not going to come to me. But I can't then go, oh, but I buried the crystal. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I still have to show, I still have to take action. And with
Correct.
manifestation isn't just ask for what you want and sit back, and you have to take aligned action in
Yes.
order for it to flow. So,
Yeah.
with passion, what do I need to do? How do I need to show up in order to let the universe, my spirit guides, my
Totally.
crystals support my journey? I have to show up in that. It can't just be all about the crystal. It has to,
Yes.
I have to be engaged in that process.
Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
Um, that you have to show your intention
Yes.
about your intention as well. You have to show your intention to move towards that thing energetically. In other words, you have to show the universe that you're serious, and you have to
Exactly.
start that energy current. You have to, I think in Buddhism, there's something about planting the energetic seed in order for the energy to carry through and continue on. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right to point that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things to remind myself is that when I show up, the universe shows up. So I take action and the universe will match. If I
Yeah.
sit and do fuck all, the universe is going to do fuck all. Like there's only so much that the universe, God, crystals, like whatever you're using to support your journey,
Yes.
I have to show up in order for that to show up.
100%. And again, that comes back to this law of attraction,
Yeah.
mirroring thing in the universe, the way it operates. If you accept that that's the way it operates, yeah,
Yeah.
then that makes total sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's an important thing to mention. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So good. Thank you. So I feel like we could carry on talking all day about this. Like, especially if we went
Yeah,
off on all the little tangents of like souls and all of that. That's like a whole other conversation. But so if we will put all of your links in the show notes for people to find you anyway. And obviously, if they're close to Stroud, they can come and see you in person. But where is the best, or where do you like hanging out? Where is the best place for people to find you?
on my website, probably directly. I am on Instagram. I do have a Facebook page as well, but I'll be honest, I'm just not really. It's just not really me.
Yeah.
I know everybody says, "Oh yeah, you've got to do all social media and everything." I get that. I just, it's just not really me.
Yeah.
So my website is probably the best place to go to
Yeah.
contact me, I would say. Yeah,
Brilliant. Okay, well we'll put that, and yes, afterwards, if you could send me those two books, we'll put that in the show notes as
yes,
well because I'm really interested in those. Especially the
great.
journal one. I feel like that'd be a really lovely gift for someone. I'm thinking my birthday's in July. I'm like, oh, I might put that on my birthday list. Or
Oh, that's
maybe
lovely.
I won't wait and I'll buy it for myself as a celebration beforehand.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, guess see how you go. You know, if you're
Yeah,
intrigued to start working with them now, if you want to start working with them straight away.
yeah,
But yeah, you know, all these things take time and commitment.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it just depends where you are with your journey and what
yeah.
you're up to at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Well, this was a really lovely conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you think is relevant?
I think we touched on a little bit. We were talking about sort of cleansing and charging crystals. I would just say, you know, once you've worked with the crystal, obviously I clean the crystals I work on um, with clients. I clean the crystals beforehand and I clean them again after. So
Yeah.
just a reminder, really, to cleanse your crystals certainly at least after you work with
Mm,
it. They're very sensitive, so they do pick up um, energies.
mhm.
So yeah, just kind of keeping them, and it just helps them to work at their optimum, their most optimum.
Yeah.
So your listeners have probably they're probably familiar with different ways to cleanse crystals, but I just want to give a few of them really quickly. My favourite is
Yeah.
sound. So if you've got something like a singing bowl, there's some little things called tinctures that you ting.
Yeah.
Those are really good. I've also got some like tuning forks as well. So
Oh,
anything like that. Or there's actually crystal cleansing music on YouTube. You can put that on if you've got a large amount of crystals.
oh,
Um,
okay. That's a good idea. Yeah.
um, use a recorded crystal cleansing music to do that.
Mm.
Obviously, we discussed the moon. That's a great way of doing it. Um, water, I would say for polished crystals only. So
Yeah.
it's important to know how kind of like soft or hard your crystal is. I wouldn't really cleanse
Mm.
a raw crystal under there. Polished crystals will be fine, but some softer crystals might dissolve or become damaged under water.
Yeah.
Something like a pyrite you wouldn't wash underwater because it's iron; it will rust.
Yeah.
Uh, so sunshine again, just be aware. Darker crystals you can put out in the sun for charging. Something like a sunstone or a citrine, they absolutely love to be charged in the sun. Amethyst, rose quartz, I would not charge them in the sun because
Okay.
that's going to fade the color. And
Yeah.
your crystal will still work, but obviously it's muting the power a little bit if the
Mm.
color's faded.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that to be aware of. You can put them in rice. Personally, I don't recommend salt. Salt can scratch crystals, and also salt gets really wet.
Yeah.
Um, Lots of people use saging. Personally, I don't because the smell just like really gets in my lungs. I'm very
Yeah.
sensitive to smell.
Yeah.
So, but there, you know, there are lots of different ways that you can cleanse crystals. But just, yeah, just a word about um, thinking about that and just keeping them um, sort of functioning at their optimum, if you
Yeah.
like. I suppose it's a bit like, you know, we have a shower or whatever. So,
Yeah.
so thinking of giving your crystal an energetic shower and the way that really you would do for your own energy field, you know, just keep keeping your own energy field clean and
Yeah.
doing your own energy maintenance. Um, so that's something your crystals really enjoy as well. And burying them in the earth is a really potent way to cleanse them as well, because obviously they come from the earth. But
Yeah.
if you do that, you want to put them in something like a little box or something just to protect them in case it
Yeah.
gets really wet under there. So, for example, if I really need to strongly cleanse a crystal, so for example, um, once I ended up removing a curse, that sounds a bit but That was a particular situation. So that crystal needed to go in the ground for a week
Yeah. Yeah. To rejuvenate itself.
to fully cleanse itself. And Mother Nature is amazing. Mother Nature recycles that energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't destroy energy, so you have to change the frequency of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Mother Nature is really good at recycling that and transmuting,
Yeah.
changing the energy frequency of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if your crystal needs a really good strong cleanse, earth cleansing.
Yeah. Earth cleanse it.
Yeah, and it's like that crystal being popped back in its womb again.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely going to put mine outside tonight in the full moon, or certainly some of them anyway, because I
Yeah.
don't think I've cleansed my rose quartz that I've got here. This is one of them.
Oh, stunning.
Dandelion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have a garden particularly, so I put mine on the windowsill
Yeah.
and that's fine as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you so, so much for your time today. Thank you for coming and talking to me.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having
a real pleasure. Yeah, you're welcome. And everybody else, I will speak to you all again next week.